Greetings, family. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Thank you so much for tuning back in. The Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360. I'm your hostess, Deanne, coming at you live from Phoenix, Arizona. Hope everyone's having a great, fantastic Friday. I haven't left the house today, so I'm going to go out after this report and take care of some things, run some errands, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's been an interesting week. I will say that. It has been an interesting week. So like, share, subscribe, follow, like, share, subscribe, follow, like, share, subscribe, follow. So let me go ahead and get into it. Our discussion today, are we contributing to our, I wanted to say demise? That was a strong word. I think I just said circumstances. So we can pause and have some thoughts around that, perhaps. So let me go ahead and read the fair use disclaimer in case I kind of delve into some other areas that I will be covered if I read this. So fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So thank you so much for taking this moment to allow me to read that. So let's go ahead with the end of the week. I was in discussion with a dear friend of mine, and we had a really heart-to-heart discussion on why we're in the condition we're in. So we wanted to just we're in agreement for the most part, and to say, how do we end up here? Because she's several years younger than me, but not too many years. So I think maybe 10 years younger than me. So I've lived through the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, etc. And so she has not lived as well. Like I said, 10 years my junior. But we both had certain similar sentiments about the condition of our people. And we were in agreement in saying, why are people, like when we walk in a room, we command, obviously, the attention just by, me being 5'11", I command, being a well, rounded person. I, very, very, I'm a kind person. I'm definitely a kind person. And I grew up in a two-parent household. I know, maybe 30-40% of my audience has also been a part of that two-parent household. I'm not saying that to brag, but I'm just saying because we had our own little issues in the four walls of our home. So I'm not trying to say that supersedes a person that doesn't have that experience. However, we know that we have gone astray in terms of our person, the way we live, how we do what, so forth and so on. So when the stakes as high as they are, people, teenagers being killed, like I said, we need to figure out a way to not call the police every time. I'm going to say that again. We do not need to call the police every time, because there's a 30% chance to 50% chance someone's going out in a body bag. That's what we know. So if we know that, Not trying to say anyone is responsible for all the death and destruction that is perpetrated from the police, and they are definitely as guilty as charged of our demise. However, we can do certain things. Like I said, don't call the police for every turn. This ain't the good old 60s, 70s. Back in that time, you can call the police, there would not be a death. Chances are, even I grew up in Brooklyn, chances are there it wouldn't escalate to that level. So we know it's a different time now. So, we need to be above board in all areas of our lives, number one. Number two, if we value ourselves and each other, we should not be able to kill another Black or brown person. Are we in agreement? So to take another life that looks like you. So if people are seeing that, the lyrics in music, the communication or lack thereof, a beautiful sound, like I'm referencing, I'm trying to think about the 60s and 70s, beautiful, loving, Marvin Gaye, Earth, Wind and Fire, the Supremes. No one was singing about gang banging. No one was singing about, everyone was singing about love, peace, harmony. You know, if you go back in time to Marvin Gaye, beautiful lyrics. He was a lyricist and he was a beautiful singer. I mean, this is where we were. And now we're into another demonic energy that's not of our people. We are melanated people. We don't need to sing about death and destruction, you know, all day, every day. If everything that's on the radio is death, destruction, don't you think you're going to draw that to you? So, if everyone is seeing the plight, what we can and cannot do, our hands are tied, but we have to empower ourselves and saying, I don't want my child to listen to gangster rap. Common, there were good artists in the early 90s, now Common is probably doing more acting. I don't know about his last CD. I don't know about that, but he's always been progressive, if I would say so myself, rap, lyrics, etc. So if we look at the lens of our community, we can do a trajectory of the music with the killing. It's all in the whole vacuum. We are caught up in the whole vacuum of this crazy US. We know that. But if we know that, we're going to do stuff differently to accept or have a different result. Because we're in the repeat cycle, rinse and repeat. So there's no relief. We don't have elders leading our community. Sitting, elders need to be advising. We've been so off our square for so many years. It's now just really catching up with us. And all meaning, there's some good meaning white folks. We're going to say that. I ain't going to say everyone's under the bus. But we don't need to take that chance of good meaning police officers. I mean, I experienced an issue in Atlanta when I was living there. And I still have my life, but it was me. I was driving. It was kind of late. It was like maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I wasn't alone in the car, but I was driving, getting back to my house. So I lived in Southwest Atlanta, if anybody knows about Atlanta. So at that time, it's like 10,000 degrees right now. So hence The house is cool, but I'm getting a little sweat. Okay. So it's Southwest Atlanta, if you know anything, I was like by the West End train station, give you an idea of where I was in Atlanta. And I guess something had happened and they put barricades in the street, but they left one lane open. So I wasn't intoxicated. Well, I don't roll like that. If I'm not sound body and mind, I'm not going to get behind the wheel. So I was not DUI questionable, anything like that. But I made the right off of the I-20. I think it was Lee Street, and I made, like I said, they had, I guess there was some activity, but they had just one lane open. So I figured it was one lane was open. I'm not patrol, so I'm just a motorist trying to get home. And so the officer, stop, and I stopped, obviously. And I was like, what's get out of the car, get out of the car. And so I was trying to explain. I didn't see anything, preventing me to not go in that lane. And I was trying to explain to him, but he didn't hear. But anyway, they did I had to go to court. This was back 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Yeah, I think it was like 2019 something, 19, I'm going to say 1995. That's about the time. And so I had to go to court and all like that. It was like maybe a $300 fine. But at that time, that was a lot of money. But they've always done stuff. We don't call police. See, if you're sitting at the feet of the elders, you're going to get the instruction. We don't have that. We have elders in our churches, perhaps, but we need something else to offset the immediate, reaction or response to having stuff, people a little bit stressed out, of calling the police. This is not the time to call the police. Now, if you've had an health emergency, you call ambulance, at the house, if you have whatever's going on. If you must call police, you know, be cautious when you're calling police. But with that said, we have to go back to the original understanding that we are in the same country, but the game is totally changed, you know. Because my mother was saying, she couldn't reach me for a few days or whatever. And she said, oh, I was getting ready to call the police. Well, I was like, Catherine Foskey, please do not call the police to come to my home, please. I mean, she was kind of joking, but I was like, oh, no, 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 no. We ain't trying to do that, because this is another time, another day. So I wanted to let her know, it was a joke, tongue in cheek, but I don't even want her to think about that or call. I said, well, let me give you two numbers of people she knows out here, and they should definitely be able to get in contact with me, blah, blah, blah. So, but what we can do, change the direction in our music. Our music is calling on death, destruction, more death, destruction, more death, destruction. I think Tupac was a little different. I mean, some of his music was getting into that, but I think he had uplifting lyrics overall. So I will take, the good with not so good. But that whole genre in the 90s, that was probably the last little section, Biggie Smalls and all those that went on, But this is ridiculous. We can control the music. if you can't control the music in your home, if people are downloading, etc., take the daggone phone away. I mean, we have to save ourselves. We can definitely save ourselves, um, because we are worth saving. Other people wouldn't like you to believe that, but we are worth saving. It's no sense of people can live 80, 90 plus years or more eating the best food, drinking pure water, blah, 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 blah. You know, if I can get it out here, I have, this is just a, I just reuse this bottle, but I have a 10.0 pH. That's the highest pH. I'm about to get it, about to go out today to get more 10.0 pH. So I drink the best quality of water. I don't want to look, appear, outside the gray hair, hey, but this is genetic for sure. Um, looking way younger than, a lot of people think, just based on my face, I'm looking, young. My energy is good, but drinking good water, that's the first part. Eating good food, drinking good water. The Muslims feel maybe one meal a day. I've done that. I've done different fasting. I've been into like different businesses that have offered, or mom and pop companies that have offered cleansing, and I've gone maybe 2 or 3 cleanses throughout the year. So I'm definitely for that, because we have to raise the vibration. Listening to music is one, and black on black crime. I'm going to say it because we have a lot of crime. I mean, you name the city, there is a lot of black on black crime. Everyone's like, well, we always try to give ourselves a reason to say, well, it's like, no, a black person dying is one too many. Can we be in agreement with that? Because we are we're not understanding, but we get the whole George Floyd stuff. Even though he's going to be convicted, hopefully, and get maybe 30 years. I would love to him to get that. Derek Chauvin. So we know the police are coming after us. I mean, a girlfriend of mine in Atlanta just sent me a post. I think it was maybe a couple of years ago. This grandmother, I think it was in North Carolina, and she was, guns were drawn. The lady was like 74 years old. Perhaps you've heard about this. And I'm like, they're total pigs. Not all of them, but there's enough to, us to be, we should pause. But what can we do? We can eat good. We can eat good food, drink good water. That's the start. That's the start. Raise the vibration in that way. However, the music, the lyrics, they go hand in hand. If we're rapping about death and destruction, that is probably what the experience is. And this is what you've seen. So I just want to say, can we change the channel to the self-destruction? We've had enough of this. We're just coming into the 5th month. I mean, what more can we take? So if we change our music, change our relationship to music, because music has not always been this, horrible lyrics, gangster rap. Let that alone. If your children are getting into that, turn them to Stevie Wonder, turn them on to the late Marvin Gaye, turn them on to Incognito, the band I listen to almost every day. turn them on to Mesa Leak, turn them on to Liz Wright, an awesome vocalist. So we have different choices. We've brought music to the level that it is, but now we have to say what's infecting our community. What is infecting? We're infecting our community with the food. We're infecting our community with the poor choices of beverage. We're infecting our community with poor diet, sugar, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're infecting. This is self-affliction. This is self-affliction. So we're afflicting ourselves with not the best water, alcohol, drugs. I mean, they just passed the law in Arizona, recreational marijuana. Hey, I'm all with it. Recreational, you know. There are a lot of places here that are selling medicinal level marijuana, cannabis. You know, I'm all for that. You know, if it's you're using it to heal, I'm all for that. I'm definitely all for that. However, the alcoholism, I know we're trying to medicate. I know if you can't go to a therapist, please talk to a friend, you know, and just try not to go to the bottle, go to the drugs, go here, go there. We have to be still and know we are God. Be still and know you are God. We are gods. Because this country is building a prison right now with your name on it. It's sad to say. We live in the home of the free, and whatever they say, I'm not even going to be able to announce to say it, respond with it. It doesn't even make sense, but this is what they're saying, you know. The land of the free, home of the brave. Really? So when I saw that video, a girlfriend of mine in the A sent, I was just like, I I can believe it. That's the sad part. I can believe it. We don't have to doctor any video, so everything that is comes front and center, I believe it. So we can modify our music. That's because when we were listening to Marvin Gaye, when we were listening to James Brown, you know, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. When we were in that genre of music, that came into the body spiritually, emotionally, mentally. And that took us to another, you know, we listened to Earth, Wind, and Fire, you know. I mean, they were on another galaxy. I got chills when I said that. They were on another galaxy. So they just came down, you know, to just impart some music. But I mean, just turn your children on to Earth, Wind, and Fire, to Incognito. Those two bands, I'm not getting paid by anyone, but I just know how they, you know, the songs were loving. I mean, they had, what was it, the White Album, and it was a dual album. I think that was maybe the beginning of the dual albums, and it was Gratitude. That was the name of the dual album, Gratitude. Gratitude. We're not singing gratitude anymore. We're singing, you know, popping. You know, there's a music. I think someone was telling me there's a music that the undercuts that's layered or under the music. It's like pow pow pow. That's what's the background. Is that what we want? We know pow pow pow, but we're bringing this into our psyche. We're bringing this in to our reality. We're the first man, woman on the planet. So why are we at the level that we are? Subhuman. We're acting as if we don't know any better. We know better and we can do better. So, it's time. We cannot bury another child, someone under 25, someone under 30. This is ridiculous. We know better. We know better than to run. Not trying to say the officers will still shoot. We know they see melanin, it's a game over. But make sure all your fares are in place. No expired tags, for example. If you have expired tags, you don't have any money to get it, you're going to hop the bus. You're going to hop the bus. Bus stop right around the corner. If my tags are expired, I'm hopping the bus. But I keep my stuff so no one has any reason to pull me over. I am driving 10 and 2. Got the white hair, so, I'm doing that. But this is where we are. So we can save ourselves. Get the music that is horrific lyrics. I'm not talking about one band. I think Waka Flocka is one that we discussed last night. And there was a lot of, I was directed to the album cover, I think, from Waka Flocka. I believe that's, if I'm mispronouncing, I do apologize, but Waka Flocka. So we can do something instead of just saying, oh, well, I'm born black, I can't, blah, blah, blah. No, because you're born black, because you're melanated, you have to live at this level. Because if you're living at this level, you're out of the line of fire because you're vibrating so high. The guns they will evade you. You will have your paperwork in line. You will have everything in line with your whether it's a tag, whether it's fill in the blank. My tag on the Camry is going to be expiring the end of next month. So next week, I'm gonna go ahead and get that baby with the go ahead and gas it up real good and put some gas treatment in and go ahead and probably next weekend I'm going to get my car registered to get the new tag, and that'll be that 2-year tag. I think it's like $35. It's an old car. It's like 1995 car. So let's do our part to evade, get our stuff in order, get our stuff. We know what's going to happen. We know there's a chance nothing will happen. You'll get a good police officer and they might give you a citation and send you on your way. But I'm not willing to take that chance. Are you? I'm not willing to take that chance. So we're coming to a different reality in this country. The game has changed. We have to do our part. Like I said, there was a young man, 13 years young, that had his hands up, and I believe that was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And even though he had his hands up, he was still gunned down, police officer. I'm not trying to say that, I mean, I am saying it wasn't, obviously, it wasn't a good thing that that young man lost his life. But the second question is, why was he out 3 in the morning? 3 o'clock in the morning, my parents knew where we were, no question. Not trying to blame anyone, but we have to start thinking, why are we putting our children at risk being outside at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning? He had a home. Why wasn't he in the bed or even in the home? 3 o'clock in the morning, I would not be caught, even back in the 70s. I mean, I was in the bed. you know, asleep usually. 3 in the morning. What are you doing at 3 in the morning? Not trying to say there was a reason. However, the child, he's still a child. He was a child. He passed on. He was killed. So we have to start looking at some of the things that we can do in our communities to offset this thing, because it's like rinse and repeat. Different day, another story. Aren't we tired of hearing these stories? We do deserve peaceful rest at night. Everyone's in the house, regardless. Hey, there's chances are you have a more likely chance of not, well, now I can't say that because they are killing our young people and older people at the hands of police. I mean, George Floyd was killed, what, 2 in the afternoon? So I'm not trying to say in and of itself, being at home is the best thing. However, 3 in the morning, a 13-year-old, why was he out? I mean, I'm not blaming anyone. I'm definitely not blaming anyone. I mean, those parents are probably thinking that right now if he was just home. So don't, like I said, talked about it yesterday. You know, your child should be home at a certain time every night, preferably at dusk. You should be home because we're not in the time of the 60s, the 70s. We're not there anymore. I don't think we'll ever get there in the consciousness. So we can do our part to make sure our children are home, we're safe, you know, we have the ability to, if you have a moment praying over your child or meditating, or say, we're going to go into meditation 15 minutes, give thanks, whatever your practice is. Have a practice every day, every night, 365 days to bless over your children, bless over your family. Don't listen or buy these gangster rap people, or it's not lifting up our race. Our race is going down. The demise of our race is just lightning speed. We have to recognize that. So to know and not to do, it's like you don't know. And you just turn a blind eye to it. Oh, well, they have a right, but we want to save lives. We don't want to put our lives in the hands of police officers. Don't call the police unless you have to. We're not in the 60s, 70s anymore. They come gun blazing. It's not gonna, now if he put 4 shots in that black girl, I think she was 16. If he had tased her, she would still be here. But that's not how they think. Again, we need self-evaluation of all police officers. I've called for that a couple of years ago. I didn't have this platform, but I've called for that many years ago. I don't, I'm going to have another book real soon. Happy. But we need to turn this thing around. So I look forward to your comments, your responses. I'm going to give out my business line, which is 602-775-9665. Give me a call. Text me. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're feeling, how I can assist. Because we've got to turn this around in honor of our elders that have gone on to the other side, the eternal realm. My father included, Curtis C. He guides me from the other side and directs my path. I'm grateful. We have to honor our ancestors in spirit and in truth. And in my spare bedroom, I have an ancestral altar with all my deceased relatives to anchor me, to give me, have a candle lit every day on that altar. I put different things on the altar. My father liked peppermints. Um, so I have a bowl of peppermints on, well, whatever your loved ones that have gone on, they really enjoyed. So I keep him close spiritually to me. And yeah. So whatever you want to do in terms of acknowledging a safe journey of coming home, going out and coming home, do that. Just 10 or 15 minutes. 10 or 15 minutes. That's not a lot of time. So just bless over your children. Burn sage around them. When they go out, when they come back, burn sage. I keep stuff burning all around here all the time. I'm keeping the vibration high, So yeah, it's enough. We have to really stomp on the brakes and just have an exhale, inhale, inhalation, exhalation, inhale, exhale, and change the channel. If you're listening to rap, not trying to say there are progressive rappers. I'm not talking about those rappers. I'm not talking about those. I'm definitely not talking about those. But if they're talking about death, destruction, black on black crime, et cetera, turn the channel and explain. It's not about being a parent and I can do and say what you need to do and can't do, but have a lesson with that child, with that young person. Give them direction because we don't have the direction we need in the household. You can't tell me my 13-year-old would be out any time of the night. No way, Jose. Mm-mm. That is not the time. That's the time to be in the bed. That's the rest time. Not trying to blame these parents because I know they have buried their child, and that's more pain I can even imagine. But enough is enough. We can do something. We are not helpless. We are not helpless. We have a big black brain. We know what to do, what not to do. Don't drive with bad tags. Just don't do it. Take the bus. If you need to take 2 or 3 hours to get to work, you'll be in one piece. Don't take a chance. You know what time it is. We know what time it is. So don't do that. Don't encourage that in your family, your community. Just try to do the right thing. If it's a bad tag, just park the car until you get the money to get the car inspected, so forth, so on. We can do our part. We can definitely do our part because we cannot afford to bury another young black or brown child. So I will close with that. Please like, share, subscribe, follow. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Like, share, subscribe, follow. I am your the knowing one, I guess. I know I've been called different names, elders, blah blah blah, elder. Um, you know, so it's an honor and privilege to come before you. I just want us to be safe, have a wonderful weekend, and just think. Just think. Take a like sometimes just sit and just you're just always in the automatic mode. So sometimes I just sit and I think about things, how to do. And that will go a long way if we can do that every day. Like I said, smudge your children before they leave, smudge your children when they get home, and pray over them. Parents, you can pray over your child. You can pray over your child. So, okay, I will be back Monday. God willing, creek don't rise. And I thank you for listening, tuning in to the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Like, share, subscribe, follow. I'll be back on Monday and I'll see you. Your comments are welcome. You have my number. So be safe, be safe, be safe. Peace.